I'm back, you guys. I am back. Okay, I have so many of these to get through. I don't even know. Also, you guys, I am so sorry. Like, I legitimately missed an episode last week, and it wasn't due to anything but pure, like, laziness. Sheer and pure laziness. That's my problem. That's my issue. So, I literally am here, just got back from the gym, did my shower, just got ready because I'm finna talk to my man afterwards. And yeah, so I just was like, oh my God, I owe y'all an episode. Had to shoot it. I've worked today, so today has just been kind of long, so bear with me, y'all. I'm trying to learn my flow and, posting, but I want to make sure that I'm consistent and post every week so that you guys, can be looking for me, waiting for me, watching for me. And in the meantime, make sure you hit that like, share, subscribe button and turn your notifications on, because why wouldn't you want to know when I'm uploading and when I'm posting about the confessions? Anyway, I also need some water, y'all. That's one thing that I do need. I might take a water break in a second. Okay, so jumping right into it, let's get into the first one. I'm in love with my husband, but it's not how it sounds. My husband and I are both bi and decided to get married drunk AF after not knowing each other for that long. He's a amazing person, but we both went into this platonically and both decided we are gonna live together, but in like a funny roommate kind of way. This is where my issue comes in. I've fallen in love with him. After countless hours of yapping together, traveling a bunch, getting drunk a lot, meeting new friends, I came to the conclusion that last night I actually love him, but I don't know what to do. We're both about to move, and if I talk to this with him, it's going to open a whole can of worms that, one, I don't want to deal with, and two, I'm so deeply worried he doesn't feel the same way. He's told me a couple times that he can't live without me and I'm his ride or die, but whenever I see him go out with others, not in a friendship way, I just get sad because I know he probably never sees me that way. My plan right now, that I've kind of decided right at this moment, is to make sure he's settled in the new city. Tell him how I feel, and though it will kill me inside to wait for his reaction because I care for him too much to leave a note and run away, I need to face this head on. It's the least he deserves. I'm lucky that my line of work, I can find a job anywhere. So for my mental health, I'm probably gonna move so fucking far away and try to pretend this never happened. I care about him so much that it hurts sometimes. I love him in so many ways, and it just hurts me that he will always have someone else on his mind too. And I can't take that for my own mental health. I feel so guilty wanting to leave him over this, but it just hurts too much. I feel so guilty writing this, but it's been weighing on me for a while and I just needed to scream it out into the universe. All of our friends think we really are together. There are legal reasons for that. So I have no one to talk to about this. That's crazy. So you guys like literally just got married for funsies when you were drunk, and then now you just like really love the man? But what if you could just talk to him and see and try to work it out? Like, you're gonna have to say something. Like, obviously he married you for a little like joke or whatever, and it might be more of like, I don't know if it's technically qualified as a lavender marriage, but I don't know. I think this has been a while now. I think this has been like at least a year now since you've posted this or whatever. But I think that you should say something. You guys might be in love. Anyway, say something and see what happens, because you never know. Like, you guys are already really good friends, and like, if y'all care about each other that much, like, it will be okay. It will be okay. It's gonna be fine. You just gotta say something. You gotta speak up, because you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. So talk to your best friend. Talk to your best friend, okay? I'm sorry that happened. Moving on. Why is my mom's family so corny? I'm making this post event because although I'm in a great place in my life now, my mom's family was so corny when I was at my lowest. I was struggling mentally, and if I hadn't laughed about my situation, I would have gone crazy. There was a Spanish song about severe hardships, and I laughed, saying it was my song. Suddenly they were all crying, while my siblings and parents have a really intense sense of humor. So when we meet up with them, we can't have the same sense of humor because some of the family's members are too soft. LOL. Damn. You want to unpack that a little bit? I'm sorry, friend. Sounds like they kind of messed you up a little bit to the point where, you just be cracking them hard ass jokes. But that wasn't that hard. So I don't know. Like, why you just out in your family like that? But listen, I hope y'all work it out, and I hope that they stop being corny. Okay? Yeah. Moving on. Was discussed. You guys, my mouth is dry, and I mean wet, but Ashamed. Not sure if this is the right spot for this. Long story short, my GF of 4 years and I have been looking into ways to spice things up. She's in shape, perky boobs, beautiful smile. I was more than thrilled with her, but it was clear we were in a rut. Started with some spicy dice games, spicy questionnaires, things of that nature. Well, somewhere along the way, the topic of a threesome came up, and she said she could never do another woman in the bedroom, but was open to a man. I said I wasn't looking for another man, but was open to a woman. A week or so later, we discussed swinging with a couple friend of hers. Her idea. I said if it was important to her, I would give it a try. So the night came, this was supposed to go down. My woman and I played some drinking games to loosen ourselves up and to calm the nerves a bit. Around 10 p.m., there was a knock at our door. It was Vince. He said his GF was running late at work but would be over shortly. He grabbed a drink and we all got to talking. They were on the couch together, his arm wrapped around her. I knew what was discussed to come, so I tried to bury my jealousy. Half an hour later or so, they suggested that we get started as she should be showing up any moment. Outnumbered, I agreed. Well, they got to kissing, then stripping, and next thing you know, my baby is on her knees sucking something that I'm far too ashamed to say was fair, for it was a bit larger than mine. For anyone who has maybe ever been in the situations, my nerves were absolutely shot with jealousy, sadness, madness, anxiety. I couldn't get myself erect. I sat on the opposite couch, twiddling my limp dick, praying that it would just work. After about 20 minutes of failure on my behalf, I decided to harness up the dog and just go for a walk. Oh my God, that's so sad. I couldn't take the sight of her getting railed any longer. I came out about 10 minutes later and they had moved from the couch to the bedroom, so I just sat on the sofa. She came out a half hour later with cum all over her face. I asked her where his GF Sophia was, and he said she texted and was when I was gone, saying she couldn't make it. I feel set up. I feel less manly. I feel ashamed. Thanks for letting me vent. Damn. Okay, here's the thing. If you're gonna do anything with your partner, like I personally don't do threesomes. I don't really like want somebody else in the bedroom with me and my partner. But if I were and we like would have talked about it, you should have never got started without making sure that you were comfortable first. I also know someone like where she wasn't as open to it at first, but then her partner like made her feel really comfortable and kind of like made the experience all about her in a sense, you know, like both of them. But like since there was a partner who like wasn't really fully agreed with it, it was kind of like I don't know. But I definitely feel like if you had your hesitations and reserves, like I know that you really love her and like you would have did anything for her, but it was clearly something that you didn't want to do. So like, friend, I don't know why you did that, but I understand pressure. I'm sorry though. They shouldn't have got started without you. And it do kind of give a little bit. It do kind of give that like they kind of planned it. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. It give they kind of planned it. Anyway, moving on. Maths turned me on like crazy. I'm dead serious, not even trying to be funny of anything, just looking for people who feel or have felt the same way. I swear, as soon as I do something related to mathematics, even something ridiculously small, I'm all horny. It's a very weird feeling to describe, but I kind of get butterflies in my lower stomach and I just crave more and more. I've been studying all day for my maths exam and I'm so overwhelmed. I mean, positively, of course, but yeah, whatever. I wish I could just feel normal about math. I don't know if you are an adult or an underage person, so I'm gonna leave that alone. That's a little. Don't leave you alone. Moving on. I hate my daughter's name, and I can't even say it out loud without feeling sick. My daughter is 3 years old, and she is the most incredible little person. But every single time I have to call her by my name, it feels like her name. It feels like a punch in the gut. When my wife was pregnant, her family went to into absolute overdrive about naming the baby after her grandmother, who had passed away a year before. They kept talking about how much it would mean to them and how it was the only way to honor her memory. And I was just trying to be a supportive husband because my wife was so emotional and exhausted. I agreed to it, even though I always thought the name was incredibly old-fashioned and just plain ugly. Now, here we are, 3 years later, and the resentment is just eating me alive from the inside out. I find myself giving her a million different nicknames like Bean or Bug or literally just anything else so I don't have to use her actual legal name. When we're at the park and I have to call her over, I feel this wave of physical nausea and embarrassment because it sounds so out of place on a toddler. What is the girl's name? Dang. My wife thinks I'm just being dramatic, but she doesn't get that it feels like I lost a part of my connection to my kid before she was even born because we didn't even get to choose who she was going to be. Her family constantly talks about how she looks just like the grandmother, and it makes me want to scream because she isn't a ghost or a replacement. She's her own person. I lay awake at night wondering if I should just push for a legal name change and deal with the fallout, but the thought of the family drama makes me want to disappear. I love my kid more than anything, but I absolutely despise the word that defines her to the rest of the world, and I feel like a monster for even thinking this. Well, in my opinion, names are really important. So I definitely think like you should have fought harder and spoke up for that. Like, but I also understand it's kind of hard to go against like your whole like set of in laws, and also too when it's kind of something that's important, right? Like we talking about a lineage, we're talking about the passing of a mantle. But I also understand you being like, no, she is her own person. She's her own like thing, but you can really give that to her. You are her dad. You can literally be like, you don't have to live up to any of those expectations. You could be who you want to be. You know what I mean? So if it really bothers you that bad, I think you should push for the legal change, but just know like that's gonna come with a whole wave of things. So you need to be ready for that if that's what you want, but also understand that you could provide her kind of with her own sense of self. You can be there, you can like impart that and put that in, like in her heart, in her spirit, in her energy, that you be whoever you want to be despite your name. Your name symbolizes something great, but it also is not the full definition of who you are. You don't have to live up to, like to basically be Grandma Junior. You could be your own person. So I feel you on that. You're gonna have to say something though, because it's just tearing you up. Tell your wife that you hate the name. For real. Tell your wife. You need to tell her something, because I'm sure she can feel it. We women, we got intuition. So anyway, on to the next one. I pooped on Trump's golf course. So, about 4 months ago, I got COVID. I was visiting my boyfriend's family and the following weekend and thankfully recovered in time. My stomach, however, had not fully recovered. I have always had gastrointestinal problems after having COVID. Anyway, we got out to lunch, me, my boyfriend, his mom, and his grandpa. I regrettably ordered a greasy burger. Well, after finishing up, we all got back in the car and headed home. That's when the belly gurgle started. I was struck by an intense need to diarrhea. That sentence didn't make no damn sense, but that's okay because I'm already struggle reading it. But carry on, sister. Learn that it's not an intense need to diarrhea. You had the intense need to shit. Okay? Anyway, excuse my language. Well, we were on the main highway with no upcoming exits. My boyfriend's mom was driving and I requested that we pull over somewhere because I really could not hold it. We pulled over on the side of the road in front of some shrubs that I swiftly ran into the bushes for it to cover. My boyfriend and his mom waited in the car while I squatted behind some bushes and let it out. Come to find out, we had pulled over at a golf course entrance. From afar, we noticed the golf cart security officer start to approach us. My boyfriend gave me his socks right off his feet to wipe since there was no toilet paper. He and his mom ushered me back into the car before the officer caught me. As we pulled away, we all realized it was the entrance to Trump International Golf Club. So basically, I pooped on Trump's course. That's beautiful. Also, too, your boyfriend gave you his socks to wipe your booty. I'm pretty sure my boyfriend would do that too. I'm 1,000% sure. he would definitely help me out. But that's a good man. That's a good man, Savannah. And his mom is a good woman. Hopefully. Thank you for pooping on his golf course. That was beautiful. I hope you don't ever get caught. Moving on. Does anybody else have these same sensations? Greetings. I was curious if I'm the only humans that has this issue. Humans? I was curious if I'm the only human that has this issue. I'm a man in my early 30s and I've always loved astronomy, astrophotography, outer space, etc. Since I was in second grade, I loved astronomy so much that just talking about astronomy or outer space makes me feel very similar sensation to when a person is about to ejaculate or orgasm, especially when I'm scrolling or looking through astrophotography pictures or pretty much anything related to astronomy or outer space. Is this something anyone else experiences? Appreciate the help, and hopefully I can understand or figure this out. Are you the same guy who has the math fetish? Please stay away. Please. I don't know. I'm also gonna stay away from this. I hope you figure it out. Okay, moving on. Matched with a guy on Hinge. Thought. Why do I keep adding extra syllables and words and letters? Anyway, matched with the guy on Hinge. Thought he ghosted me. Found out through Reddit he went missing snowboarding while in Vail. Title pretty much sums it up. We talked about music and Bonnaroo. We had a date lined up, never heard from him when the time came. Chalked it up as being ghosted. A few weeks later, I was scrolling CO Snow. CO Snow? Well, she was scrolling somewhere on Reddit and recognized the pictures and name. Found out later through a local news station his body was recovered. This happened a year ago in 2025, but I still feel a sense of sadness for this man whom I never got to meet. Yeah, that's fucked up. That's real messed up. Damn, I'm sorry that happened to you. That's kind of crazy. I hope his family is okay. That's a lot. I'm sorry. For my first 3 years out of college, I paid my rent by sleeping with my landlord. I don't regret it. So the story goes that while doing a work experience internship, a man took me under his wing and helped me get my foot in the door of the industry. There was nothing sexual in our relationship, just strictly business, and when I graduated, he got me an interview with a friend of his in New York, where I ultimately got the job. But the problem was that I was flat broke, and the starting pay for a job wasn't exactly high for New York. So I was struggling to find a reasonable place to live. When my mentor asked me how my job was going, I mentioned now that I couldn't find a place to live and I was staying in a hotel. Instantly, he said that I could stay at his place that was just blocks from the office until I figured out somewhere else. This apartment was massive and I think was listed a couple of years ago for up to 30 million. I stayed there for a few months and he was barely there because he had a bunch of different properties and traveled a ton for work. Overall, it was perfect and I didn't really want to give it up. He started asking me more frequently about if I had found a place yet, and it was clear that I was overstaying my welcome. Then, one night, he was in town and we were having some takeout together. This is where he told me that he was just looking at renting the place out since he didn't use it very often, and I would need to move out if he did. I just couldn't help myself and started tearing up and begging him to let me stay. It was honestly embarrassing remembering it. He blurted out something like, maybe if you keep my bed warm when I come visit. I didn't fully hear him at first, but then I was like, what? He then said slowly, choosing his words carefully, we could work out a deal for you to stay in the house and keep me company when I visited. Deep down inside, I knew what he was asking me, but I was still in denial, really, since he was a mentor to me. Baby, that don't be meaning nothing. These old men be nasty. I asked him a few more times, and he was vague each time. Okay. So, I finally just asked, you want me to sleep with you for rent? He just nodded. I was shocked, and I told him that I needed some time to think about it. After a few days of thinking, I decided to go through with it. It honestly ended up being great. He was a great lover and would come by like once a month for a few days on business, and I would just keep his bed warm. He actually liked to take me out on nice dates too, and even on some private jet trips, so I never felt used by him. Though, I know that I was just trading sex for stuff in the end. Overall, I don't regret it, and I was able to save and invest like 90% of my income over those few years, which would really put me on a good path for an early retirement if I want. Yeah, no, I think that it's okay. It's okay as long as you were consenting and you were comfortable and you decided and he never did nothing crazy. Cool. But also too, I think he knew from the very beginning that he was trying to get some of that. That's why he let you stay there in the first place. He was probably just trying to figure out how he was going to ask. Okay? 30 million is how much that apartment was. Baby, he was going to need you to come off of something, which is crazy. These old men be nasty. You can't be feeling bad for taking them for what they got, because if he old enough and was supposed to be a mentor to you, he should have never even been looking at you like that. So it was good for you to take him. Take that, because absolutely not. You should have took him for more. Anyway, I'm glad that it worked out in the end and it was just like a cute little like sugar daddy thing, I guess. Anyway. All right, moving on. Secret PTO. I don't keep a lot of secrets from my wife and family as a father of 3 beautiful kids who I love to death, but sometimes, in secret, I'll plan a day when all of my kids will be at school and my wife will be working a full day. I get up early, make breakfast, walk the dogs, take the kids to school, and then tell my wife I'm heading off to work, right as she is about to leave. I circle the block, go home, call in sick, and just sleep in on PTO for the entire day. It's honestly some of the happiest days of my life being able to get back to sleep at 8:30 in the morning and sleep straight through until about 1 or 2 p.m. It's amazing. It's a secret I'll take to my grave with me. My wife has yet to catch on. Also, too, like, I guess you like I understand, but like why you won't just tell your wife that like, hey, like some days I just like to take a day to myself without having to be here, like without nobody having to be here. But also too, I mean, I guess you're not necessarily lying, but like she just be thinking you be up and going to work. Like that's kind of the issue. Like you just up and pretending to go to work. Like I would just be like, I'm just gonna go have a day. You know what I mean? Like, you could even opt to pick up the kids from school after your whole day off, but low-key, it just kind of sound like, you being a little selfish and you're not trying to give your wife a break. I know you need space, I know you need time, but, like, you should probably communicate that, because you over here having a little PTO day, ha-ha, he ha, fun, and she being a mom the whole time. Now, I'm not saying, again, you deserve your individual space, but also in, like, partnership, like, tell her, what the hell? You're married. With a family. All right, I slept with my student's dad. He's single and so am I. I just feel so weird about it, almost guilty, but I don't know why. I teach in a small town, so if people knew, it would not be good. Is he married? Oh no, you say he's single. So, okay. Why wouldn't it be good? The people in your town gossip that bad? Y'all can't have a little 1-2? You better do it again. Y'all single. Y'all have a good time. Shoot, y'all need some stress relief. I looked through my boyfriend's phone and I can't unsee what I saw. I've been dating my boyfriend for 2 years. I've always had the password to his phone, but never really was the type to be snoopy or go through it. One day while he was in the shower, though, I got a sinking feeling and told myself I was going to open messages and search my name, and that's all. But when I did, I saw terrible things. So I looked through more. Me and my boyfriend met on Tinder. Obviously, not a great start, I know. I was 19 and he was 22. We had previously talked about our past. He told me he had a body count of 7 and a few Tinder hookups. Obviously, I'm not going to hold that against him because I had one Tinder hookup, not including him, but his past was way worse than he led me to believe. Not only was his body count more around 20, but a few of the girls were actually in the first few months of while we were talking. So basically, he was sleeping with me and a few other women all at once. We weren't dating yet, so on one hand, I can't be too mad and act like he cheated on me, but he did tell me I was the only one. He asked if I deleted Tinder, and I did, but he didn't. He would make comments about us potentially dating, but he would text his friends otherwise. He texts his friend jokes about how me and another girl always wanted to hold his hand, and he told his friend that he didn't want to let the baddies see his friends. What? Hold on. He texted his friends jokes about how me and another girl always wanted to hold his hand, and he told his friends that he didn't want to let the baddies see. His friends would laugh and react. His friends also called me a Tinder whore. And he canceled his plans to hang out with me, and he responded by saying that he wasn't even gonna date me, but he wanted pussy. He told his friends that me and another girl were his, and we were both solid 8s. He matched with another girl on Tinder a month before we started talking or dating, and said that she was a solid competition for me. On the flop side, what? Anyway, I'm sorry, I can't believe that. On the flop side, from my perspective, I thought he was crazy about me. He acted like he thought I was so cute and sweet and wanted to date me soon. So seeing all of the messages honestly broke my heart. Like, I can't see him the same, and I have a hard time trusting. Hold on, let me get to the bottom of it. I can't see him the same, and I have a hard time trusting him now. I did continue looking through his messages through tears, and I gave him credit where it's due. He flipped and started telling his friends he actually liked me and I was going to meet his parents, etc. So once we started dating, technically he did get his behavior together, but I just can't take the fact that he disrespected me so strongly when we were getting to know each other. His explanation was stupid and just being a nice guy looking to. Oh my god, this is where I think I'll be having dyslexia sometimes. His explanation is he was stupid and just being a guy to be cool to his friends. But I feel like he definitely took it too far. But I guess I don't know what I'm looking for. Advice, similar stories, insight? Baby, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, he said that he liked you. He said that he wanted to get it together. Bruh, I don't know. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. How long y'all been together? You said 3 years? I don't know. That's just a lot. Like, why was you doing so much? Why was you doing so much? But he did go back and tell his friends, like, oh, like, I actually like her. But them characteristics, like, I don't know. Baby, that's weird. I would definitely try to strike up some sort of conversation with him and be like, so, wait, how did he react when he found out that you went through his phone, though? I'm asking this like y'all could reply because I definitely got these off Reddit, but I'm just trying to figure that out. Like, I wonder. I really do wonder. Anyway, you guys, that's about to conclude today's episode. Thank you for watching, and as always, I promise these are going to keep getting better. Let me tell you something. I be listening to Audible. I need to spend more time physically reading, that's for sure, because these sentences have been whipping my ass. Whipping my ass, okay? It was a lot, but as always, like, share, comment, subscribe, turn on those notification bells, and if you have your own confession, send it to neshama.ka@gmail.com so you can write it and I can say it. No names attached. Bye, you guys. Have a good night.